You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 106. This is Pay It Forward, Aloha Friday.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Aloha. Today is Pay It Forward Aloha Friday. This is the video that I do every morning or every Friday morning. I try to do it in the morning anyway. And then I repurpose the audio for my podcast, the Men of Abundance podcast, where every Friday is the Pay It Forward Aloha Friday. And then I repurpose this video, put it on YouTube at my Men of Abundance YouTube channel. And then, of course, I read a blog about it, and I posted on my blog at menofabundance.com live journey, and you can find that at menofabundance.com/blog. Today, I am talking about my grumpy ass. And I want to show you guys something really quick. Two things, actually. Morning, Dan. How you doing? And what's morning here anyway? Kevin, what's going on? I know it's morning for you because you just live not too far from me. How you doing? I saw that stuff. I'm reposting some of that stuff that you sent me. Steve, welcome. So I have something really quick. Oh no, I'm not driving right now. I was actually going to do this while I was driving in because that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. I was going to do a completely different subject this morning, Kevin, but I woke up late because I was up late last night, which is rare. Tracy and I are working on some stuff, and I was up late last night. Late for me is 11:30, almost 12 o'clock. Actually, I went to bed about 12 o'clock, which is very rare for me. Usually I'm in bed by 10 because I'm up by 4:30 getting stuff done. I get most of my stuff done in the morning, but this morning I woke up like right at 6 o'clock, and I was a little bit grumpy. And I could have made a choice to stay grumpy, but I generally don't. And here's something I want to show you guys. My son, my boys went to Disneyland several weeks ago, about, I don't know, what is it, 3 or 4 weeks ago now. And my son brought me back this shirt. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. Genius, I know it's backwards on Facebook Live, but it's Genius by birth and Grumpy by choice. And I brought something up this morning specifically because I could remain grumpy because I woke up late, got out the door late. I actually ended up getting here a little bit early because traffic wasn't as bad as I thought it would be on a Friday morning. So, grumpy by choice. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing I want to show you. My screensaver. I call this my screensaver. Ready? This is my relaxed face. You see that? I'm not frowning. I'm not upset. I'm not grumpy right now. My screensaver has my commissures, the corners of my mouth, down. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. And it looks like if I'm just walking down the street or I'm walking through the halls and I'm just have a relaxed face, something's on my mind, good, bad, or indifferent, it looks like I'm frowning. It looks like I have a grumpy face. I call it my NCO face, my non-commissioned officer's face. It served me very well, 25 years in the Army. A lot when I would arrive to a new unit a couple months later, some of my soldiers would come to me and say, you know, you're a really nice guy, you're really cool, you like to have fun, you like to laugh, but when I first saw you, I was intimidated. You didn't look approachable. I didn't want to talk to you because I thought maybe you'd bite my head off like all the other NCOs do. And that's just not my personality. That's not who I am in general. I like to joke around about it because I have the face that makes it look like I'm not approachable, but I am very approachable. I love talking to people. I get energized by talking to people, and I just love it. And I love having a good time. I love joking around. I love having fun, but I have this grumpy face, and that's why sometimes I am dubbed as the grumpy old man in the shop, in the office, which is cool. I'm down with that. But here's the point that I'm trying to make today for you is so many people are grumpy by choice, and there's really no reason to. Let me show you an example. And there's divine intervention going on here, and it perpetuates into the way that your day is going to be, your week is going to be, and ultimately how your career is going to be. Tony, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in forever. And Talk about a grumpy old man. He's the same way. Tony's the same way. Go back and listen to what I was talking about earlier, Tony. But, excuse me. I had a couple guests who were potential guests to be on Men of Abundance on my podcast. And I'm always talking about forward, thinking, being abundant in everything you do in family, faith, finances, and fitness. And generally, most of the guys, men and women that come on the show are pretty outgoing people. Some of them are introverts, but nonetheless, they're nice people. They roll with the flow is what I'm trying to say. Kind of like what I do. Well, this one gentleman who I was going to have on the show, when I prepare for a show, I literally do 90% of my episodes. I record them from right here in the cab of my truck with a microphone and my Apple laptop. And I shut all the notifications down so there's no interruptions, there's no chiming, blinging, all this other kind of stuff going on in the background. I shut most of that down. And I connect on Skype. And for whatever reason, this individual that I was supposed to get on the show, his Skype ID was incorrect. I couldn't connect with him on Skype. Now, the initial official email that they received, the official invitation, has specific guidance in there on messaging me and connecting with me on Skype. Then the day prior to the interview, they get an email, an automated email from my scheduler system. This tells them again, be in a quiet room, have a good mic. I already asked them what type of mic they have. My Skype ID to connect with me on Skype. It's your responsibility to connect with me on Skype. Some don't, so I try to connect with them on Skype because I asked for their Skype ID. And I could not connect with this guy. And I tried to connect with him on Facebook. No connection there. I tried to connect with him other ways. No connection there. The bottom line is the interview didn't happen. And this guy bugged me, which I don't mind. He bugged me for weeks up to it. Do I have the right mic? Do I have this? Do I have that? Making sure everything was perfect and set up and ready for the conversation and for the interview. And, because he was super excited about getting on the show, which I appreciate that. And I appreciate the preparation. But the day of, we couldn't connect. We just couldn't connect because I didn't have his right Skype ID. Well, here's the thing. He lost his freaking mind. He started sending emails after the fact or even during while I was trying to connect with him and couldn't connect with him. I wasn't receiving the emails on time, and bottom line, we didn't get connected. He lost his mind. The guy that introduced us, that suggested he be on the show, he was sending emails to him and sending messages to him and just losing his freaking mind. And this happened twice so far. Well, the reason why I call that divine intervention is because, as it turns out, that's most likely the type of guy I do not want to have a conversation with on my show. And the reason is he might have been just having a bad day that day, but it kind of showed his character, and it kind of showed that really he had an agenda, and he really wanted to get not his message out, but maybe he had some products, a book. I don't remember because I blanked it out of my mind. I let it go. Immediately. I just don't have time for that type of energy. I don't have time for that type of I just don't have time for that type of person, that type of energy. Yeah, exactly, Isaac. He'll be all right. And I don't know what he's doing now. I still haven't heard from him again it was months. I haven't heard from him at all. Even the guy that introduced us was kind of like, I don't know what the deal was. I don't know why he acted that way, this, that, and the other, but that's just the way it is sometimes. So the bottom line is this. You can control your attitude. I woke up this morning late. I could have been pissed off about traffic because I was trying to get in here on time. I could have been pissed off about guys cutting me off. And out here in Hawaii, when they cut you off, they don't honk the horn. Nobody honks the horn out here in Hawaii. Little trivia for you. But they'll throw you a shaka and say, hey, thanks for letting me cut you off, type of thing. I don't get pissed off about stuff like that. My podcast player is not working properly today. For whatever reason, I'm not able to get my podcast to come in. So I listened to an audiobook. I could have got pissed off about that. There's a lot of things I could have gotten pissed off about and could have continued being angry about. But why? It's not going to make my day any better. It's actually going to make my day worse. And I have the opportunity, I have the abundance, I have the attitude to where I can change the way I feel. And there's no real reason for me to be pissed off today and be grumpy. So I hope that's been a good message for you today in starting your weekend. It is Aloha Friday. And sorry I can't be on the beach right now. I was going to do this from the beach. It was actually going to be a different message. I had a different message prepared. This is really completely off the cuff. I would have done it from the beach, but it's a little windy today. I had to get out here and make sure I was getting to this class. I'm in a class today for Arbinger training. So I'm in a class today. I wanted to be here on time. And don't worry, be happy. Exactly correct, Antonio. Right on, man. Hey, Kevin, appreciate you. Everybody have an amazing day. Aloha. I got to get going. Take care. Oh, before I go, I do want to say, I almost pushed the button. Make sure you go check out Men of Abundance. We are growing super fast. Everything is by word of mouth. I am not doing any marketing right now to share that. Everything is by word of mouth. Last I checked, we were in 58 countries, and some of those countries I didn't even know existed. And people are listening to Men of Abundance. So the more you subscribe to Men of Abundance, leave a rating and review at Men of Abundance. I'll leave it down below how to do that in the conversation. And I'm just having an amazing time talking to amazing people all over the world and sharing that with all kinds of people. And by the way, 30 to 35% of the listeners of Men of Abundance are women, and they're digging it. I just mentioned a review from Teresa yesterday. So the more people that go there and subscribe to Men of Abundance, leave a rating and review, means more people will be able to find it. All right, I'm out. Aloha.